Two, I don't do my mock draft. I do what I think the Eagles are thinking. Three, I don't care if fans like it. I mean, I'm not trying to satiate the fan base. I'm trying to project as best I can is what I think the Eagles are going to do, is what I'm trying to say.
With your Mac guys, McMullen and McDonald, here to hang with you for the next couple hours. Got two guests, good guests coming your way. We told you earlier in the week that we were going to try and touch down on the opposition. And when I say that, I mean the three other teams in the division. With the Eagles, we did a Cowboy spot with John Machota earlier in the week. We're going to get Grant Paulson from 106.7 The Fan down in D.C. up to join us later in this show to tell us how Carson Wentz is going to answer all the problems for the Commanders in the our nation's capital. Good luck with that, Grant. We'll punch him up a little bit later. And our bud, Kevin Kincaid from Crossing Broad, is going to hop aboard about 20 minutes down the road. But first things first, putting together the show sheet for today. Bruce Arians steps aside. Ty Bowles steps in as the coach. Some pretty big news around the league. And then I happen to flip on Sports Illustrated's coverage of the Philadelphia Eagles. And there, staring me in the face, is John McMullen's latest mock draft.
It's like a week old, Jody. Come on.
Is it a week old? How did I not see it till today?
I don't know. March 25th. I just pulled it up. March 25th.
Okay, well, what's today? Today's
March 31st. Last day of March.
Okay, so,
all right.
It's 5 days old. Shame on me for not seeing it earlier. But I got to tell you, J-Mac.
Went over well, by the way. Can I say that?
If you can honestly say that, that would be great. I flat out love rounds 2 through 5. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know the players who you had going in the 6th round. But 2 through 5, I absolutely love your picks. What the hell were you doing in the 1st round? If those are the 3 picks the Philadelphia Eagles make, I guarantee you that the pitchforks out at Lincoln Financial Field, if that's what the Eagles walk away with in the 1st round at those positions, 15, 16, 19. Now, there's a very good chance they won't be making their picks there. We got to wait till draft day, but when you do your mock, you have to keep it as is when you do it. So the Eagles are slated to pick at 15, 16, and 19. They can't get those 3 players. They'll burn the house down.
Well, a couple things. One, I always say you have to read my mock drafts to understand them. So that eliminates 99% of the people because they like to just look at the names and rant and rave. 2, I don't do my mock draft. I do what I think the Eagles are thinking. 3, I don't care if fans like it. I mean, I'm not trying to satiate the fan base. I'm trying to project as best I can is what I think the Eagles are going to do, is what I'm trying to say. So there's 2 players in there that people will hate, and I knew it. I told Ed Kratz, I said, you handle the hate mail on this. And I'll just, ignore the people. The first pick makes complete sense to me, and that's Trent McDuffie, and I'm very confident they're going to take a corner. And it comes down to, Ahmad Gardner, I think is the best corner in the draft. I don't think they're going to be in a position to get him. And then you start to think about, Stingley might have a little bit of a better upside, but I think McDuffie's more ready to plug in, play right away. Bigger floor, as they say. So I don't think that one's all that controversial. The controversial ones are 16 and 19. Now, where do you want to start?
Well, 16, let's take them in order.
16, I took Travis Jones, the big kid from UConn, the defensive tackle, for a couple reasons. One, I've been told this is the type of player the Eagles want. So if they can get Jordan Davis, they would want Jordan Davis. But I don't think that's possible anymore. any longer. I don't think that's realistic. So the second best zero technique, one technique, essentially nose tackle is Travis Jones. Now, would they prefer? Now, a lot of people have him in the second round. He's going in the first round. Again, NFL people are different than social media draft people. I'm pretty confident he's going in the first round. Would they prefer to trade down to get him? Yes. Can they trade down to get him? I don't know. So that's part of it. And then the third pick, I haven't taken Sam Howell, but again, there's no way they're taking him at 19. I think they're trying to go way down, probably in the 30, 31 range, or 32 would be best case scenario. But you want to stay in the first round to have that fifth-year option for a quarterback. And I talk about that show on the show all the time, almost every day. I think the Eagles are in that phase of they're looking ahead. They don't want to pay $35 million unless they have a star quarterback. They went through this with Carson Wentz. They want to have the safety net. They want to make sure they can roll it over. And this is not to necessarily start for this year. This is to keep rolling it over and make sure they have somebody in the holster. And that's sort of the luxury of the third round picks. And I think they like Sam Howell. So that's the explanation of it. And yes, I knew it would not be popular, Jody.
I just need to run it down for the people. I mean, they just easily go to SI Eagles. How do you get to the domain again? You always say
SI.com/NFL/Eagles.
/Eagles. Gotcha. For conversation purpose, people are streamed in on a computer with us. They might not be able to flip off and go to yours. I'm just going to run it down quickly for the people. The 3 first-round picks said McDuffie, cornerback at 15, Travis Jones, DT at 16, Sam Howell, number 3 at 19, second round, Christian Watson, the big wide receiver from North Dakota State, even though the last time we went to the Dakotas, it didn't work out too well.
Yeah, by the way, this is, as I said, it's 5 days old. And those 5 days, I don't think there's any way Christian Watson lasts to 51. So there you go. He might go in the first round.
I'm going to look at all of your picks like that. If these guys are available at that spot that you have them going in, they're steals. That's why I love round 2 through round 5. Third round, you've got him taking Jalen Petrie, safety from Baylor. No way he stays to the third round either.
Yeah, I think he's getting too much hype. You're probably right, but I don't think he's a first round pick. I think
he's a high second at the least, and he might sneak into the bottom of the first.
Safeties in this league.
You got a point there. Tight end Charlie Kohler from Iowa State in the 4th round. Again, he might be the 3rd best tight end in this draft. You getting the 3rd best tight end in the 4th round? That's a hell of a steal and a hell of a pick. And in the 5th round, Hassan Haskins from Michigan is absolutely one of the best backs in the draft, and you're getting him in round 5. That's tremendous value.
Well, yeah, I mean, to me, you're right already. I think, I lowballed Watson and Petrie. Kohler, he could be there in the 4th round. Haskins, nobody cares about running backs. How many times?
No, they don't. But that's a hell of a pick if they get him in the 5th round.
And they're going to get a big back on day 3. They're going to get a big back on day 3 because nobody's drafted him. And they're going to try to replace Jordan Howard on day 3. And if they don't get the right player, then they'll just bring him back on a 1-year deal because nobody ever has any interest in Jordan Howard because he's more valuable to this team than any other.
Probably.
So they'll just wait and see if the right player is there for him on day 3. And if they get him, they get him, and Jordan's out the door. If they don't, they'll probably just bring Jordan Howard back. But I hear what you're saying about Kohler in that, there's not many tight ends to draft. So if you're desperately needing a tight end, you might overdraft a tight end. But I will say, I think he's a 4th round talent. I don't think he belongs anywhere above that. Petrie is more because I think safeties always get pushed down the board. But I probably, and Watson is coming up late. I mean, Watson, when I first did this on March 25th, people yelled at me for Watson, saying they can't take that kid at 51. Now he's not even going to be there at 51.
Right.
So that's how quick things change. And by the way, this is all just because somebody on Twitter says it doesn't mean he's not going to last at 51.
Right.
I don't know what NFL.
We don't know anything, John, until we get there.
That's
night
what
of the draft. It's all prognostication and educated guessing.
Yeah. Well, my only point is, you hear that term raising and going up the board, and I use it too. I'm guilty of it too. Well, all that means from a reporter standpoint is we're gathering more information. Like nobody in the NFL is raising somebody up from the 4th round to the 2nd round like Christian Watson because they just found him out. Like people are just finding out that they like him better than people thought. And he was always in that range, and we'll see where he ends up. But to me, he'd be a perfect fit for the Eagles.
Agreed. But here is one thing I do need to point out as I go through your mock draft. First pick, a cornerback. Second pick, a defensive tackle. Third pick, a quarterback. Fourth pick, a wide receiver in the 2nd round. Safety in the 3rd round. Tight end in the 4th round. 5th round, running back, Hassan Hoskins. 2nd, 5th round pick, another safety, Yusuf Corker from Kentucky. Another 5th rounder, linebacker Ellis Brooks from Penn State. In the 6th round, the Eagles take Dominique Robinson from Miami of Ohio, an edge rusher. Didn't we, over the last however many days since Derek Barnett re-signed, debate whether the signing of Derek Barnett would have any impact on whether the Eagles got an impact pass rusher, edge player in the upcoming draft? You've got them waiting till the 6th round to take their first edge rusher.
Yeah,
Does that mean we're going to be seeing significant action out of Derek Barnett? You're okay with the signing? I wanted no part of it. I don't care how cheap it is because he's going to take away from snaps of a younger guy. Oh, okay. Unless they've already decided, like John McMullen, doing a mock draft, trying to project what the Eagles are going to do, says, we don't need to take an edge guy till the 6th round.
Yeah, but see, that's not how I think about it, Jody. My thought, and I'll take you through the entire process.
Go ahead.
And I've said this on the show. I don't think one of the top 5 is going to be there. So when I got down to 51, top 5, when I say top 5, I'm talking about, the players, Hutchinson, Thibodeau, Walker, Johnson, Karlaftis. I don't think any of them are going to be there at 15. So I go in a different direction at the top of the draft. Now, when I got to the 2nd round pick, I'm thinking, well, I want a Jabo. That's where I was going to take a Jabo. And I'm talking to people, and I don't think he's going to be there. So, I mean, are they going to trade up? Maybe they're going to trade up. Then I was thinking about the kid from Minnesota that we talked a little about yesterday, Boye Mafe. And now I'm hearing he's probably not going to be there at 51. So it's not a decision to avoid the position. Is that if I can't get one of the top 7, I don't care. And you're sort of pigeonholed and you're trying to get the best players available. There are 31 other teams. You're rarely going to get what you want at the position you wanted. And I realize a lot of people don't do mock drafts that way. This is what they go, they need an edge rusher. I'm going to take an edge rusher in the 2nd round. I try. And by the way, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm saying I wanted a job. A Jabo would be my first choice at 51. I just don't think he's going to be there. So that's how I do these things.
And I appreciate the way you do it. You probably put more thought into it than other guys who, you're right, just fill needs for teams and assume that they're going to be there, and they may not. But here's my point. If they are on the board in the 1st round, they've got more capital than anybody else. And they're believing, like John McMullen does, all 5 of the best edge pass rushers are going to be off the board in the first 15 picks. We'll then go up and get one.
Well, that's what I said. They're probably going to trade up and trade down. And that's why I say nobody pays attention to the context. Like everybody says Sam Howell. look, I don't know who they're going to trade with because I don't know if anybody wants to come up from 30, 31, 32. I don't know what they want to come up from 30, 31, 32. But I think if the Eagles could get a quarterback at 30, 31, 32, I think they might pull the trigger to have that 50-year option. How they get there, other people try to do that stuff. That I need 17 hours to try to figure out which teams want to come up and which teams would be a possibility and hopping. So ultimately, and that's the context, ultimately, I think they're going to trade up with the first pick and trade back with the third pick, or that's what they want to do. And they might trade up. They might see, let's say Johnson goes off the board at 11, just for sake of argument. I don't even know who's at 11. I don't have it in front of me, but let's say it goes off the board. And then all you have between you and 15 and Karlaftis, that's it. That's it. He's the last guy. You might have to do the Devontae Smith trade. The Eagles only went up 2 spots last year to get Devontae Smith. They might have to do that. They might do that.
I would say they better do that.
But I think you're trying to get me on like they're making a conscious decision because of my mock draft not to go at defensive end because of Derek Barnett. That's not why I didn't go at defensive end, because I can't find the path to a defensive end that I care about. And that would be the 5 we talked about plus David Ojabo, who's injured, but I don't think that injury is going to topple him all the way down to 51.
51, right.
And Boye Mafe, who, some people will say he doesn't deserve to go at 51. I think NFL people think he's going to go above 51. So at that point, I don't know. I'm not as excited about the other guys.
I understand exactly your line of logic and the way you laid it out. It makes a lot of sense. Find the path. Create the path. They need a young, pass-rushing, edge defensive end, and that's Howie Roseman's job. He's more equipped to do it than anyone else in the draft at that spot because, yes, the Giants and Jets both have 2 first-round picks, but they'll both be done by pick number 10. You need to get somewhere in the early pre-teens, 11 and 12. Howie, you've got the ammunition to get it done. Get it done with an edge pass rusher because I'm telling you, Johnny Mack, I'm going to be sitting here on the Friday after draft going, and the Eagles walked away from the draft with what pass rusher? Oh, shoot, McMullen was right. They didn't take a pass rusher until the 6th round. That means a whole lot of Derek Barnett again this upcoming year. That's your job, Howie.
I
Make sure
would
it doesn't happen.
Man, this is just a hunch, but I would think if they're going to go up with that 15th pick to get, a Karlaftis or it could be Johnson. I think they would more likely be going up to get Davis because I think they want that position so badly. I think that would be the more likely splash to go up.
Right, but I've seen mock drafts that have Davis going 2 or 3 now.
Yeah, I know. Well, you see Walker too. So it kind of depends. Like, is Walker going 2? Because if Walker's going 2, Davis isn't going 2. Is Malik Willis going 2? So, I mean, everything. There's people in Detroit threatening to throw themselves off buildings if they take Malik Willis at 2. They might take him at 2.
All right, I got to give you one more. I got to give you one more quickie before we go to our first break and bring up Kevin Kincaid from Crossing Broad. Speaking of mocks, or your mocks or a couple other mocks, Bucky Brooks, him from the NFL Network, Network and NFL.com. He put his latest one up. How many quarterbacks do you think he's got going in the first round?
3.
No. Take another guess.
4.
Try again.
Is he going crazy? I can't imagine he's going 5, so he's going 2 then.
No.
What's he got?
None.
0
quarterbacks in the first round.
I like Bucky a lot, but that's not happening.
don't necessarily agree with him either, but he had none. And then because of that, if no quarterbacks are being taken, the kind of scenario that you're laying out there, all those defensive ends are gone. The Eagles want a defense end. Sorry, the top five
Yeah,
all
you better hope some
disappeared.
quarterbacks go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that you're right. Those five are definitely gone if no quarterbacks go.
he had the Eagles taking the other cornerback from Washington, not McDuffie. Gardner had him.
Who's the other quarterback? I have to look.
Gardner.
He's got him going in the first round.
Oh, to the Eagles at number 16.
Yeah.
And at number 19, the Eagles taking Tyler Lindenbaum, your favorite.
No,
the next generation's Jason Kelly.
Well,
Kelsey,
look,
excuse me.
These things are what they are, Jody, but national guys don't tend to take a look at the local level, and they can't. I mean, they're too busy. Yeah, those picks don't make sense.
And just the flip side, and Kevin Kincaid's going to join us here and just coming up in just a second. Chad Reuter, do you know him?
Yeah, he's an NFL.com guy.
Right. Just the flip side, his draft, how many quarterbacks you think he had going in the first round?
4.
5.
5.
And guess what? Yeah. All 5 of them in the top 15 picks.
Chad is closer to right than Bucky would be my prediction.
We shall see. But because of that, he had Sauce Gardner falling to the Eagles at 15. You could only be so lucky. And Jeremiah Johnson going to the Eagles at 16. Because so many quarterbacks were up at the top, he's pushing guys down, and the Eagles get 2 immediate starters to step in.
Well,
Chances that would be the best, somewhere in the middle.
That would be the best case scenario.
Yeah,
I was just I had to look up Kyler Gordon from Washington. Yeah, I there's some people who like him, but oof. You talk about my draft not going over well, that wouldn't go over well.
The season to be mocking. La 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 la. John McMullen, Jody McDonald, quickie timeout. Kevin Kincaid, Cross and Broad joins us next here on Bird.